What's up, YouTube? Timmers here. Now, almost every year there are always going to be films that lots of people ends up enjoying, or lots of people end up hating that I quite enjoy. And I mean, sometimes it can be vice versa and all. But there was lots of films that came out this year that most of people weren't a fan, whether it's critics, audience, and all. But I actually quite enjoy. Like, not all these movies are perfect; they have their problems and everything. But at the end of the day, I still had a fun time with lots of them. So here are my top 10 unpopular films of the year. All right, coming in at number 10, I'm going with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, this movie, of course, has a 46% on Rotten Tomatoes, and not really first time an MCU movie actually scored a very low critic review on Rotten Tomatoes. I think this and Eternals are the only major Ryan ones, and I guess Secret of Age a little too. But for most of it, I did have a fun time. I mean, yes, I would admit it had its problems. Like, you know, like the whole John Majors as King. I mean, he was okay, but still, him getting trounced by Ant Man makes me wonder: is it really going to be a bad guy? I'll be okay if they announce that they're moving away from King. To be honest, yeah. But at the end, there, I still had a fun time. I thought the humor was pretty fun. Uh, Corey Stowe as Modoc. I still really wish they got Pat Oswalt as Modoc instead. But hey, Corey Stowe was pretty cool too. So yeah, it's not like MCU's best work. I'm not gonna pretend like it's as good as the other two Ant-Man movies. But at the end of the day, I still had a fun time. I still enjoyed it. So it just me. Anyway, number 9 is another superhero sequel, and that is Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Now, of course, this has a 49% on Rotten Tomatoes. Sadly, it's one of the few DCU movies this past year that completely flopped. But I don't care. For one, I thought it was far better than Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, that's for sure. But I still enjoyed Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Like, was it as good as the original? Definitely not. I still prefer the original Shazam over this one. Like, if I rewatch, I probably would rewatch the first Shazam maybe more than I would rewatch this one, I admit. But I still had a fun time with Shazam: Fury of the Gods. I mean, it could have had better villains. Like, Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren are good. But I think they could have, like, I mean, the villains was a little bit of a step up from Mark Strong's villain role. But it still has some fun humor. Like, Rachel Zegler and Jack Dylan Grazer chemistry in this, I actually thought was pretty fun to watch. Uh, some of the, like, I just adored the family in this. I mean, it was really cool to see the Shazam family, have more screen time in this. I just had a fun time with it, and I don't care what critics or box office says. I thought it was really cool. So anyway, number 8, I'm going with Five Nights at Freddy's. This, of course, has a 31% on Rotten Tomatoes, and despite that, it still really did well. Like, they don't actually, it actually has a really good audience score, and there are actually people who do like it, but the critics really bash this, which I don't understand. But hey, it is what it is. I still thought it was a really cool horror flick. Josh Hutcherson, Matthew Lillard. Like, I'm not even much of like a Five Nights lore. Like, I never really played the game itself. I mostly watch people, play it online, and it looks pretty fun there. But I still thought it was a really decent one. Despite not doing well with critics, and despite premiering on day on Peacock and Dares, still became one of the highest grossing horror films of the year in Blumhouse's history. And supposedly we might be getting a sequel next year, but we'll see. All right. Number 7, I'm going with the Eddie Murphy and Jonah Hill comedy, You People. Of course, this actually has a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. I really quite enjoyed You People a lot. I thought this movie was a lot of fun. It definitely has a bit of a Guess Who's Coming to Dinner vibe. The chemistry between Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy, I loved. It really had lots of fun laughs to it. Had some really fun heart to it too. Kane Barris, of course, who did like Blackish, he did a great job with this film. It's a shame most people didn't really enjoy it, but I thought it was a really fun one. Number 6, I'm going with Odads. Now, of course, this was directed by Bill Burr, starring the likes of Bokeem Woodbine, Bobby Cannavale, Rachel Harris was in this. This actually has a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes. Old Dads, I just did my top 10 favorite comedies of the year. Old Dads was in that list. I loved Old Dads. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was really hilarious. Bill Burr directed this. He did a great job with his debut here. It's a really funny one in my opinion. It definitely has some fun, raunchy laughs. Showcase what today's generation goes through, and that majority of generations today can't really take jokes nowadays. It is what it is, I guess, but it's still a really decent one to watch. So if you guys haven't seen Old Dads, it's on Netflix. Go watch it. Number 5, I'm going with The Little Mermaid. Now, yes, this has a 67%, so it did pretty well with critics, but most people didn't really enjoy it. Like, some of the audience is really, let's be real. Majority of the audience, like regular folks who bash on this, let's be real. They mostly hate it for their own agenda because, well, they had a black girl playing Ariel. Like, yeah, lots of people just call this thing woke because, hey, that's the type of word they like using nowadays. But I don't care what anyone says. I thought Lil Mermaid was awesome. The Scuttlebutt song I thought was delightful. The voice talents like Aquafina I thought was really cool. Halle Bailey I thought was amazing in this movie. I thought it was a really good watch. So I don't care what folks say. It's a really decent one. Number 4, I'm going with Wish. Now, this is pretty much the lowest Rotten score for Disney's animation catalog, having a 48% and also completely flop in the box office. But I actually thought Wish was delightful. I mean, I thought it was like really cute, charming. Love the music in it. The Wish by Ariana DeBose I thought was wonderful and remarkable. I just really enjoyed this film a lot. Is it like gonna be Disney's best film of all time? No way. It's not gonna be as good as, let's say, The Lion King, nothing like that. But it's a really decent one worth checking out, and I wish more people did want to see it. But it is what it is, I guess. Number 3, this one definitely a lot of people hate, but I don't care. I'm going with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. This made me the lowest one on this, having a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yes, I would admit the movie was dumb, but I had a fun time with this one a lot. I just love these type of B level horror films, and this is definitely in one of my guilty pleasure tier. It's a really fun one, like really gory, very entertaining. Seeing Winnie the Pooh and Piglet just go at people. Come on, what more can you ask for there? I just really enjoy this one, and I cannot wait to see part 2, part 3, the Bambi horror film. Mickey Mouse. Let me just say, Mickey Mouse is going in public domain next year. I can already hear the creators behind Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey in their bushes being, "Ooh yeah, a Mickey Mouse horror film." That sounds just right. We're gonna get a Mickey Mouse horror film once Mickey Mouse goes to public domain next year. I guarantee you that, but we'll see. All right. Number 2, I'm going with The Marvels. Now, this of course has 61% on Rotten Tomatoes, but majority of people are still not a fan of it. Let's be fair. Majority of people, okay, maybe there's people who like it and just think, okay, it wasn't good. But there are, another number of people that just hate this film for its own agenda. For their own agenda, I should say. Uh, because apparently grown men hate women nowadays. It's a shame, but it is what it is. I still enjoyed the Marvels a lot. I mean, yes, it does have some problems. I mean, the villain could have had a better villain. I still don't even remember the villain's name, to be honest. Yeah, but I still had a fun time with this one. I mean, seeing like Amal Filani as Kamala Khan, I thought was excellent. I makes me want to see her more in the MCU. Like Brie Larson, I thought was really cool in this. It definitely has a fun humor to it. Now, of course, the post credit scene could. I like the post credit scene, but the Beast scene I thought was a little weird. weird, to be honest. But so I had fun time with this one, and it's a really entertaining one, in my opinion. So completely flopped, though, but it is what it is. And my number one is The Flash. Now, the reviews for this has been good. It only has a 63%, but majority of people, like Variety, of course, made a list of their top 10 worst movies of the year, and The Flash was actually, I believe, number one, if I'm not mistaken. Now, yes, just like the Marvels and Shazam and it had its problems, but I really quite enjoyed The Flash more than most people did. I mean, yes, of course, there is the Ezra Miller situation, which, yeah, the whole Ezra Miller situation is insane, but I still quite had a fun time with The Flash. I mean, seeing Michael Keaton come back as Batman, I thought was really cool. Sasha Calais, I mean, I really want her to come back as Supergirl in the new DCU, but that's not ever going to happen. The other cast of characters, I actually did not mind seeing, Adam West as Batman and Christopher Reeve's Superman showing up. That was actually pretty cool to see. The CGI was a little wonky, but it was so cool to see them on screen there, nonetheless. But yeah, I actually didn't mind this film. I mean, is it a great film? No. It's like one of the best like superhero films of all time. Definitely not. It's nowhere near as, let's say, good as The Avengers or The Dark Knight or anything like that. But it's still a lot of entertaining and a lot of fun. And obviously, the movie was a complete flop, but I think that also has to do with the whole DC being rebooted, the Ezra Miller situation. Yeah, a lot of stuff to go by. But that's pretty much it there. Here is my quick rundown. Number 10, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. 9, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. 8, Five Nights at Freddy's. 7, You People. 6, Old Dads. 5, The Lil Mermaid. 4, Wish. 3, Winnie the Pooh. 2, The Marvels. And number 1, The Flash. Now, there's other ones I probably could have added too. Like Zach Braff's A Good Person. That did not really get much great reviews. I probably could have added that one. There are some films that came out that I do agree with critics on, like Aquaman, Rebel Moon. So, yeah. I like The Haunting of Venice. That was okay. Candy Cane Lane, another Eddie Murphy film I could have added. So lots of really cool ones I probably could have added on this list. But let me let you guys. What's some of the films that came out this year that you felt should be that you actually enjoyed, but most people like critics or even audiences didn't? Like, what were some of your favorite unpopular films of the year, or vice versa? What were some movies this year that that folks did like, but you didn't? I mean, there are some. Like for me, Napoleon, Beau's Afraid would definitely be on that list. There's not really much, to be honest. That's why I'm not going to do a top 10 there. But anyway, drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Henry Zion.